Hey guys, in this book to screen, I'm going to be talking about Death Comes to Pemberley, based off of the book by P.D. James, starring Matthew Rhys, Anna Maxwell Martin, Matthew Goode, and Jenna Louise Coleman. Death Comes to Pemberley is a sequel of sorts to Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Darcy and Elizabeth have been happily married for a number of years, and they're getting ready for the annual autumn ball. But things just can't go right because here comes a hysterical Lydia who claims that her husband Wickham has been murdered. So we have a murder mystery. I originally watched this mini-series back when it aired at the very end of 2013, I think it was, and it was 3 parts, and most recently it aired on PBS as 2 parts, and I did not watch the PBS version, so I don't know where things were possibly cut and changed, so I'm going to pretty much kind of be talking about what I saw. This first half of the video is going to contain no spoilers, and then I really want to get to some spoilers at the very end, so I'll warn you in advance when that happens. Death Comes to Pemberley is so freaking good. I loved it. I kind of went into it not expecting much. I picked up the book after I had watched the miniseries. Don't pick up the book. If you really love the miniseries, the book is nothing like the miniseries. It was an incredibly huge disappointment, and it didn't have that rich character development and plot at all. And that's what I loved about the miniseries so much, was the plot and the characters, and the book totally lacked all of that. In the miniseries, there's a lot going on. You have Darcy and Elizabeth trying to prepare for this ball, but at the same time there's also something going on there between them. Elizabeth kind of starts feeling like Darcy regrets having married her, so we have that going on. Then we have a Georgiana who is living with them, and there's this cute little subplot going on with her and this guy named Alveston, and that whole romance between Georgiana and Alveston is huge in this miniseries, and I love that compared to the book. We also have Colonel Fitzwilliam, who plays a huge role in this. He's Darcy's cousin. He plays a huge role in this. You're never quite sure, where he is. He's kind of a suspicious figure. And he also has his eye on Georgiana. And then we also have Lydia and Wickham, who I think stole this mini-series. I'm not gonna lie. I'll get more into them in the spoiler section, but for right now I will just say Lydia and Wickham are the best thing about this mini-series. The whole mini-series is beautifully acted. Everyone has their A game. There's not a dull person in this. It's just so great. And the setting, don't get me started about the beautiful scenic shots. It looks like they filmed in a real mansion or estate of some sort. I mean, you get these great shots of these huge rooms and these long hallways and these beautifully decorated bedrooms. I mean, it really sets the scene. This miniseries is also not just about the characters when you think about it. It's also kind of about the estate of Pemberley in general, and the people who make up Pemberley and work at Pemberley, and kind of the outlying little villages. So not only do you get these great insides of Pemberley, but it's so beautiful outside. I just wanted to live at this place. I don't know where they filmed, but I wanted to live there. As far as the murder mystery aspect of this miniseries go, it is incredibly well done. I did not know what to think. I did not know who to suspect. I mean, there's twist after twist after twist. Something that I was missing from the book. The book kind of starts getting into the forensics of the murder victim, and it kind of turns into CSI Pemberley. And the book never fully got going into it. Instead, it made it really dry and boring. And the miniseries does a great job of making the forensic details a lot more interesting and fascinating and more intense. And that's the thing with this miniseries in general compared to the book. There's much more intensity and urgency to the plot and the whole murder. Have you guys seen Death Comes to Pemberley, and what do you think? think. I highly recommend it if you have not seen it. And I highly recommend watching it before reading it. I don't even recommend you reading the book. It is an incredible disappointment. The miniseries is way, way, way better. I'm going to get into some spoilers right now because I gotta talk about them. So click here for the annotation spoiler and it will take you to the part after the spoilers. So I'll see you there. Lydia and Wickham. Remember when I said that they stole this miniseries? Jesus. Matthew Goode and Jenna Louise Coleman had just amazing chemistry together. They only have a few scenes together, but they work perfectly. And they also just work really great away from each other. Jenna Louise Coleman, you know, Lydia is very kind of snobbish and really silly and just kind of an idiot, to put it bluntly. She's just so stupid sometimes. When she first thinks that Wickham has been murdered out in the woods, she's sitting there in hysterics and she's crying and she has to be practically dragged up the staircase, but then she turns around and she's like, wait, my luggage, I need my gown for the party. It's things like that Lydia is basically the comic relief of the miniseries, which was terrific, because you have all the drama with Darcy and Elizabeth and their conflicts, and then everything with Georgiana and Colonel Fitzwilliam and Avalston. So yeah, Lydia was kind of the breath of fresh air. And then we have Wickham, Matthew Goode. Jesus, that man, he is so hot. He makes any movie good. I'll watch anything he's in. I'm one of those people that when I read Pride and Prejudice, Wickham's charm got to me. I liked Wickham, and then I was kind of devastated when it turned out that Wickham was the villain of Pride and Prejudice, and that he was all against Mr. Darcy and wanted to kind of ruin Mr. Darcy. But I still, oddly enough, liked him. I know a lot of people just can't stand Wickham, but I liked him. And I kind of expected to go into this miniseries kind of feeling the same way about Wickham, that I would like him, you know, like love to hate him, but I didn't expect to go into it and just fully 100% love him. Poor Wickham. Wickham, this whole miniseries feels like the Wickham redemption arc. That's what it feels like. He's accused of murdering Captain Denny, his friend, and right from the start, I had a feeling he was innocent. Because why kind of make it so obvious that he was the murderer? So there's just this great arc of Wickham, you know, kind of realizing the horrible things he's done, and maybe not fully regretting his decisions, but still kind of realizing what he's done to some extent. And it's all about his relationships with everybody, and in a way mending them, maybe not perfectly, but, you know, a small percentage of mending. And who thought that Wickham was going to get hanged by the end? I was seriously like, oh my god, Wickham is going to get hung by the end of this thing. And I love the fact that Elizabeth is the one who saves him, basically. She goes to the Bidwell house, gets that confession from the boy, and she rushes down to the courthouse or whatever and saves Wickham from being hung just in time. And that's another thing compared to the book. Elizabeth has such a huge involvement in the plot line of events compared to the book. In the book, it's like she's just there for decoration, it felt like, and she was just not a very active heroine. So I love in this miniseries how proactive Elizabeth is. And you know, the miniseries, it's not all about Darcy and Elizabeth. I mean, it sort of is, but they ultimately don't have too many scenes together, and it's kind of about them apart and growing back together. I guess my one complaint about the miniseries is kind of how quickly everything wraps up. It's like everything kind of just perfectly wraps up. We don't get any really final confrontations. We have the lovely scene with Avalston and Georgiana, and it looks like kind of like the Colin Firth adaptation when he's kind of walking up and, you know, the shirt open. Wait, was it Colin Firth or Matthew McFadden's? No, that was Matthew McFadden's version, wasn't it? With kind of the open collar and the wind. Making Darcy look like this huge romantic hero. But yeah, I think they paid a little homage there to the Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice with the Avalston and Georgiana reunion. So I like that. But then yeah, Colonel Fitzwilliam kind of disappears from the picture. We don't get a wrap up from him. It's like he kind of just has this sad ending. And I also expected more of an ending with Wickham kind of really having this great moment with Darcy and Elizabeth and just some final reconciling. And instead it kind of just ends. It's like you would, I don't know, I wanted there to be some sort of recognition from Wickham and him thanking Elizabeth, you know, considering all the horrible things he did to Elizabeth. So yeah, despite the abrupt ending, I freaking love this miniseries. Okay, so I guess that's it for this review. I feel like I had so much to say about Death Comes to Pemberley. I don't feel like I've said everything I want to say, other than the fact that I just love this miniseries. It's brilliant, just great from start to finish, beautifully acted, great scenery, and Matthew Good, good God, Matthew Good. Someone please fangirl about Matthew Good with me. So have you guys seen Death Comes to Pemberley? And just let me know what you thought. I really just want to talk about it. So that's it for this book to screen. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you liked this book to screen, you may like these other book to screens. Bye guys.